How's it going, everyone, and welcome back. Thought I'd just make this brief, quick video here, real quick. I've been noticing a little thing that's a bit weird. Now, this is the full Trials gear. I haven't bothered to put the shader on the other ones in case I end up getting the full flawless set, but this is what it would look like if I did go with the same color scheme. There we are. Doesn't look too bad. Looks pretty nice. I'm not too big of a fan of the boots. I'm not really sure what they were trying to go for there. And the chest plate seems a bit small for a Titan, but, you know, I can see it working. Also, the new Monarchy stuff came out today, so this is what it would look like in the new Monarchy Diamonds. I am sided with every faction, just on different characters. I kind of like this. I like the polished gold kind of look that it has. Looks very Iron Man-like. So I'm really up for this one. I really want to try it later on. But that's not the reason I have brought all of you to this random spot in the tower to overlook everything. The reason I brought us all here is a simple look right quick. Given this gear and all that I have here, and I have a couple of the raid stuff. I guess I don't have all of it on me, but I wanted to go ahead and briefly look at some of the weapons and stuff that are offered in here, and I'll make videos on these later on, but I just wanted to get this out of the way real quick. So this is the submachine gun that they have, and I'll be quite honest, this thing is a nail driver up close. It rivals the, everyone just calls it the MP7, what is it? Antiope ED. God, I just butchered that. But it rivals this baby. And this, personally, they have very close to the same, similar type of stats. The MP7 can end up holding, I think, a bullet more if you do a customization on it. But I personally find this one to feel more like a P90 or a Vector in some like Call of Duty or Battlefield kind of game. So it's very nice feeling to me, and it seems like it has a bit more accuracy at range. So I really like it. Now, this is one of the ones where I will give it a very good rating, and I think it's a good gun. It's a very good gun. It still does get outshined by the Mini Mida though. And this is what I'm kind of trying to bring up here. Same with the pulse rifle. I'm kind of bringing up that I've been flawless twice now. Can't tell it, but here it is. And the two times that I've been flawless, obviously there are no flawless weapons anymore, which is kind of disappointing. But I think what's a little bit more disappointing is that the fact that, I mean, this thing has Headseeker, it has Snapshot, it sounds like it'd be an amazing weapon, right? But the thing here is this, slow firing, high damage. I mean, that's good, but in a meta so far where Mida is on top, submachine guns up close will destroy you. I mean, you know, it's just not a viable choice. Nightshade is a viable choice because if you're mid-range, you can put enough bullets into them where they can't run. This, I mean, you're going to get outgunned by Mida because Mida has a faster fire rate and high cal. It's not worth putting yourself in that situation. I mean, Mida will win every single time. And this SMG, like I said, is being outshined by the Mini Mida, which is it's a special. I mean, you can carry a Mida and that and get the speed boost, which is kind of disappointing. Now, the one that does really shine is the Prosecutor. This thing is amazing, has pinpoint accuracy, and if you like the slideways, which are very good in Trials, but in normal Crucible, I prefer the tapped trigger, just because you're never really sure if you're going to spawn into something atrocious. Hipfire is amazing. I mean, this thing has SMG-like hipfire. It is so good. Now, this is a very solid auto rifle. It's very strong. I'll use it in everything. I mean, raids, anything. And then the other thing here that I've noticed, this Relentless is technically better than the Address, although the Address does have the kill clip and outlaw, making it, it seems like a little bit better of a choice, even in PvP, which is kind of saying something when the Trials weapon's not as strong as a raid weapon, which once again kills me. Normally I'm never going to use a heavy slot on a weapon. In Trials, I like to have the heavy sword because I can knock people out with supers. I can block quite a few bullets, and sometimes I can even stop a rocket. This is the only rocket launcher I cannot stop with that sword. Fully honest, that's the only one I cannot seem to stop. The other one would be the Raid rocket launcher. Otherwise, I love the sword, and it does a ton of damage. It does swing slow, but it's amazing. Now, the sniper for Trials does have very good target acquisition. Feels really nice, a lot of aim assist. It does have Outlaw, which is very, very nice. If you can get this to proc, it's a very, very, very solid sniper. I use Outlaw simply because I like to be able to peek my corner before I lean around and pop it. So it is a solid sniper, and if I had to use one, that's what I would choose. That's why it's such a high level. Now we come to the Sudden Death. This is the first Trials weapon that I did receive, and it as you can see here, it has a good perk. Now I'm going to point out why this is not the weapon that you should be using. Alright, so it does have Snapshot, which is nice, or if you slide around a corner, which seems to be the Trials thing right now. And this has increased reload stability handling while enemies are in close proximity. Now that sounds like a good perk for a shotgun. Issue is, shoots extremely slow. Hits hard, but shoots very, very slow, which kind of destroys the weapon when you really think about it. If you're running up there with a shotgun, gets increased everything when you're surrounded, you want to drop both of them quickly, and you're not going to be able to do that. As a matter of fact, the only real way to do that is if you're running a rally shield, you shoot one guy, duck down, then shoot another one, because for whatever reason that cancels it, and you can fire instantaneously again. So once again, I mean, I don't find it to be the most useful weapon. And as for the hand cannon, I haven't used that fully. My girlfriend has it on her account, and I've used it a little bit. It feels a lot like the Bad News, but with a better roll, which personally I don't like those kind of hand cannons. I like the old-fashioned stuff like that. They just feel better to me. So I'm not going to say much about that one. If you like it, I mean, it is a solid hand cannon. I'll once again be doing a video on those later on. And as for the Swift Verdict, is a sidearm. Once again, my girlfriend was lucky enough to get that since we went flawless twice. She ended up getting both of those guns just because we ran it. I have not used the sidearm very much. It looks like it has an okay roll, but the reason I say okay roll, and the reason I'm saying that as of today, I was going to say it has a decent roll, but if you come over here to New Monarchy, this is crazy, and look at their sidearm that's up for sale right now. Has high caliber and is auto. This is one of the full auto pistols. Has high cal and snapshot. I mean, why would you use anything else? Any sidearm with high caliber is going to be extremely powerful. And that's just being honest. I mean, it's high cal. It'll destroy you. And they have a submachine gun in here that one of my buddies just got that he is loving to death. I'm hoping to get it soon so I can show you guys it. Look at this. It's a submachine gun with high caliber rounds. That will devastate up close. Just completely destroy. Now I've only gotten the Song of Justice, which I'll make a video on later on, but this thing looks fucking awesome. It doesn't have a better, roll than any of the scout rifles that I would use. MIDA, my personal favorite, is the Nameless Midnight with the explosive rounds. If you pair that with someone using a MIDA and you team shot, they have high cal, you have explosive rounds. The enemy team can barely even shoot back if you both are taking someone, which is extremely nice. But I wanted to take this moment and this opportunity so that way you guys can kind of, have a look at the Trials gear that we're getting this year. And we'll go ahead and put it in, here it is, the look that you would have if you've been completely flawless, which, look at that, that is beautiful. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you how we ended with Year 3's Trials. And I thought Year 3, it just stood out more that you've been flawless. Like, this one does have the glow effect, but if you have this kind of shader on, you can kind of, it's not easy to see it. Whereas last year when you went flawless, everyone knew, they could see it. It was shining. It was a shining example that you were able to have gone flawless. And this is why I chose this shader, because it stands out a bit more and I like the gold tint to it. But we're going to jump over. I'm going to look over at some of the Destiny 1 stuff that they had to offer and why I think, you know, theirs looks a little bit better. Now, this is cool. It looks foreign. It looks very alien-like. And for, you know, the 9 and how mysterious they are, this is wonderful. I mean, this is a really, really good addition. But I want your vote on this. What do you like more? Do you like Destiny 2's version of Trials, or do you like Destiny 1's version? So we're going to jump over there and take a look at that real quick. Welcome back to Destiny 1. I know, it's been a while. But you have to admit, it does look quite a bit different. But in addition to looking different, I mean, this was Trials, man. This gear that you're seeing right now, I mean, we all knew it was Trials. I mean, I get, you know, Trials of 9's different than Trials of Osiris. But you have to admit, like, what they did in Season 3 with this beautiful, glowing, just this armor looks amazing, and it feels amazing. And, you know, it really stood for something when you were allowed to finally put that on your armor. If I recall, I mean, what was it? You had to put the ornaments on your armor, and I know it took 2 for a helmet, and I think 2 for a chest. I think 1 for arm, 1 for the legs, and I was never fortunate enough to get the mark. So I ended up using that on, I think, my hunter or some crap. Now, this is the main reason I brought all of us back to Destiny 1 here. It's not because, you know, I loved the wings. Okay, I'll admit that. It's not because I wanted to show off my character. It's because of these weapons right here. Blind Perdition Adept. The Adept weapons are what I miss the most. I mean, this came with Snapshot. This gun was God, by the way. This gun came with Snapshot, and if you did the stability perfectly in close quarters, this thing was amazing. And then you do High Cal, stagger your opponent. You could do this, didn't really need it. So Outlaw was the next best thing because you're already hitting headshots. This thing was a nail driver, and it was so good. It was basically a hawk saw, but an adept weapon. Now, it's these kind of weapons that made me want to continue playing Trials. As you can see, I have a couple of these Vision Stone ones. Once again, year 3 was Snapshot that it kept popping up. I had the lightweight, fitted stock, crowd control, and rodeo. Rodeo didn't use too much, but crowd control was really good on this thing. I mean, it wasn't a hugely successful weapon, but it was decent. And then on the long-range maps, this thing would demolish. The Burning Eye. Okay, so you had Snapshot this year, year 3 or whatever. So that thing. Okay. Oh God, I'm staggering already. Oh man, this thing was so good. Look at that range. Okay, it had explosive rounds and third eye. So already, if you're a hunter, you can run basically anything you want. You always had the ones that were using the third eye helmet. Don't need it because this gun already has it. And then you had reinforced barrel, which increases range and supposedly does something with the magazine. I don't really remember. Takes away 2 shots. Oh well, that thing hit like a missile. This thing was so good. And the sights on all of these things were picture perfect. Now this I never did get as an adept, which drives me crazy. Because it had Hidden Hand, which was so good. You could also switch over and it would be good in PvE. You had Firefly, explosive rounds, which I even used in PvP because you already got 9 rounds. You don't need the extended mag. I mean, these kind of weapons are why I did Trials. And then you got your fusion rifle. This thing used to be really, really good because of the rangefinder. And then I had Snapshot on this. It was a very, very solid weapon. Also had reinforced barrel there. The sniper was very It was very good. It had the unflinching snapshot. It was a very solid weapon. Personally, I didn't like the way it handled, so I used the longbow. Again, a weapon I loved so much. I had explosive rounds, but snapshot plus outlaw. And then, if you could get this, the increased accuracy while behind cover and all that, poke around a corner, no one could stop you with this thing. So good. And then I had the warpath because of the blast radius. This thing would demolish people. And it had tracking missile. It's just one of those things where I really miss this kind of gear coming out of Destiny. I really wish that this was still, a big thing. And then, of course, I'm using the Isoluna. I have a terrible roll on it, but when I finally got it, it was just so good, and I loved it. Speaking of which, I have a black spindle here, and I have a sleeper. I know some of you are going to get a bit annoyed when I bring this up, but the exotics in this game, I mean, they look good. And most of them are very functional. Twilight Garrison, Armamentarium were very strong in Trials. And in my instance, when I did Trials with Defender, I would run Saint 14. Not only can I take away your super, I'll blind you in my bubble too. I mean, it's so effective. Either that or I really liked running the Dune Marchers because I could really get around with a shotgun. But going into my vault here, I just want to make this really, really quick. But the weapons... Nemesis Star, it was decent, but it was still, an exotic. It was strange, it was different, and it looked really, really cool. It was one of those things where I don't really see this much in Destiny 2, and I really wish I could. The Sniper, the Hereafter, I personally didn't like it. I knew a lot of people that loved it because of its zoom. First Curse, it was a very strong gun, but then its perks are what made it so good. And it's these weapons I miss. The Suros Regime, God Mode Year 1. Year 3, it was decent. It wasn't amazing. Chaperone was a very good shotgun, especially if you could critical hit. Thorn pissed everyone off as Thorn and everyone's back first year, but it was a really good gun. Dreg's Promise, also a decent sidearm. Patience and Time wasn't that good, but you could go invisible with it. Invective, a lot of people enjoyed because it would regen its own ammo. Trespassers, basically every single sidearm that burst fires in Destiny 2. Fourth Horseman, full auto shotgun. Wasn't the greatest, but who cares? Plan C, destroyed people. It was so strong. No time to explain. It was one of those things where it was okay. Razorlighter was really good. Necrochasm. The Necrochasm. God, I love full fire rate weapons. Got Doctrine of Passing up here. God, they were so good. Hawkmoon, I loved that thing too. I mean, Luck in the Chamber 3 times. You can't get better than that. Monte Carlo. This thing was such a solid machine gun. It just played so well. And I really miss it. It even had high cal. And for an auto rifle, that kind of felt like a submachine gun nowadays. And then Red Death. I mean, I can't ever forget my Red Death. I guarantee I have another Red... Yep, there it is. I have multiple Red Deaths. I love the weapon. It was so good in anything you went into because of the healing. Kvostov, I mean, the gun you start the game with turned into an exotic because people loved it so much. I mean, what other game company can you go to where you get that? No Land Beyond, Icebreaker. I still have the original Icebreaker here. Bullion Gemini, I don't really use that much. Fabian Strategy. Galahorn, a multi-tool, which once again is pretty good here. But if you notice, I mean, the other one's missing a few things, isn't it? I mean, it's missed in the hair trigger and all that kind of stuff, which, they can do whatever they want, right? But it's these kind of weapons I really miss, guys. I mean, these things really turn the tide in Trials. Ace of Spades. These kind weren't really the greatest. I did see a lot of bolt casters. Those things just firing across. Tlaloc for the Warlock. Truth was Hunter. Touch of Malice. Why do we not get a gun like this for raid anymore? Oh god, the thing was cool. Last Word was my Trials weapon. That thing got me through so much. I know it had phantom bullets and all that kind of stuff, but I really loved it, and it was a really, really solid gun. Once again, Abaddon, it's basically the same thing as this. There's also a Thunderlord somewhere. Outbreak Prime, once again, showing how amazing a raid weapon can be. I don't know how this shotgun's going to turn out in Destiny 2, but who knows. Universal Remote, Queensbreaker, Bad Juju, Supercell, Dark Drinker, See, these are the weapons I miss so much, guys. And the fact that, you know, we kind of downgraded in terms of Destiny 2. Like, the Trials loot looks cool, but does it look like this? Like, does it really give your character justice? Like, this is a big chest plate. These are big arms. I feel like a Titan. I look like a Titan. Because I am. And in Destiny 2, when I got the chest plate for going flawless, I didn't feel, you know, much like a Titan. I felt like that was like a hunter chest plate. But the legs were also really, really small as well. I mean, these are pretty thin and skinny, and I would prefer the Dune Marchers. But the other ones kind of have that wing where it looks like I'm trying to be the Flash or something, you know? It's not that I'm complaining about Trials in Destiny 2. I'm simply pointing out that I think that you were rewarded a bit better here in Destiny 1 for going flawless, and you got much cooler looking gear for going flawless. I mean, this could be completely, you know, my point of view, but once again, this is simply my point of view here. So everyone, I'm trying to make the point that I think Destiny 2 could have done a bit better at showing that you've been flawless. I'm not trying to talk down to Destiny 2 at all. It's just a simple fact that I really liked the wings. I really liked how you how you glowed, how everyone knew that, you know, you had been through something. You had really gone and tried your best. Now they did do, you know, the emblem that we all can see here, the horse, which is, I mean, it's a nice touch. But what I really, really liked, there's someone climbing up, but what I really, really liked about Destiny 2 is the simple fact that they didn't go too overboard, I guess. Destiny 1 toward the end started to do a lot of neon stuff, which I will admit I did love the trial stuff, but there was a lot of the raid type of stuff that I didn't really like too much. But in terms of that kind of stuff, guys, I want that to be, I don't know, I want it to kind of be left out of the equation in this one, I guess. Looking at the two games side by side, I enjoy Trials more in Destiny 2 because it actually seems like you're doing something other than playing just one big game of elimination every single weekend. So I do enjoy the fact that that is, you know, part of what we're doing here. But the one thing that I don't particularly love is how we don't get adept weapons anymore. We don't get the cool looking, you know, armor or anything like that. It's kind of just, you know, it's bland. It's bland. And let me know if you guys think that they're gonna end up changing this or flipping it around, or if you think I'm just being a little too paranoid and judgy right now, which could be the simple fact that I am being judgy. It's just, you know, I really enjoyed the old looks and all that, and I know it took them till year 3 to finally end up doing that, but it would have been nice to see have a return. Other than that, guys, thank you for tuning in and watching this video. I know I compared quite a bit of stuff in this video, but I wanted to get out there that, you know, I criticize this game because I love it very much, and I really like Trials, and I like how it's, you know, it's end game. The raid was cool, and we completed it, but it didn't capture my eye like some of the other raids did. Like, Kingsfall was the last one where I just played it non-stop. I would take people through it. We would carry anyone and everyone. I'd even go to the tower and ask people, hey, have you ever done the raid? And if they said no, I was like, get in here, we're doing it. And they're like, whoa, are you serious? I was like, yeah, we're about to take you through the raid. And I would try forcing people to go with us because I knew that my team could handle it. But since then, I haven't really run into a raid that I deeply fell in love with as much.
See the ones on bomb.
But
one has no health.
I think it is a bit of a disappointment seeing Trials have some strange gear, and to be quite honest, the chest plate for the Titan does look like it'd be more warlocky than actual Titan, which kind of disappointed me a little bit. But those could just, you know, be my crazy opinions. I'm sure once the DLCs come out and Osiris is out, that we'll start seeing some really cool looking gear. And obviously I'm not going to stop with Trials. If you guys want to play or anything like that, Just go ahead and look at my clan. I'll have it on screen. And if you want to check out my Twitch, I didn't start it recently. I've had it for a while, but I haven't streamed in quite some time. I'm gonna start streaming whenever we end up doing some Crucible or something like that, or possibly whenever we're doing something interesting, you know. I'll try doing it for trials during the weekend, but I will warn you guys, we don't always get it on the first day. There's quite a few times, just to get used to the map, we'll just kind of joke around and play around quite a bit before we actually try doing decent. Other than that, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and I will have those on screen and linked down below. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one, Guardians. Thank you for watching.
Pride.
I was in the air.
They're
so
on us
I was,
again.
like, flying away.
Oh
Got
God.
one. I'm weak.
I
Yeah,
mean, that's
one's
the only
right
way
on.
that they're
I'm
having
going-
any form of success.
Y'all just want to stack that next time?
Probably could.
No, we probably should.
I think, but I still like the
There's one
going
going
on.
flank.
behind.
Ha! I didn't even aim to kill that fucker.
The neck roll appears to not be as good anymore as it was the first time I used it. I'm not sure why.
Can't remember
That
what
guy's
the other
not even
things you were
gonna kill
using
yet.
were that you were enjoying.
Wow,
Was
last
it Uriel's
round?
gift that we were both using?
I hate my life.
Alright.
It's okay, you can fly back up, you're fine.
Yeah, but my A button.
One on tunnels,
but
one's
it's
flanking
not my
around.
button anymore.
One's flanking around. So keep an eye out for him.
Planting.
I see
Okay,
none in
there's
that
two in
center.
tunnel, one
Wouldn't
flanking.
plant. I'm planting
Yeah, go
on
ahead.
temple.
We're planning temp. If you guys fall back, I have your
Oh,
retreat
he's
covered.
weak. There's both. They're weak at tunnel. They're weak at
Ryan, I
tunnel.
have retreat
Sorry, I would
covered if
put-
you
I
need
would get
to.
backfired.
Rocket
Sorry, I would
launcher,
push back
rocket
the ball.
launcher.
Yeah, there's no getting my orb. They're all over me. Oh, there's
Good
the
team
rocket.
shot, good team shot.
He completely
Another one up there.
missed.
Yeah,
How
I
did he
know.
miss- Okay, Thomas.
Got it.
Good
To
fight.
be completely honest, you should be like 100% dead right now.
Yeah, I know. I agree. That was pretty funny though.